Hi guys, Faith Long here, back with another video. So today I'm going to be telling a little bit of a story time about my breakup with my most recent ex-boyfriend. Now, just as a disclaimer, I am not telling this story or posting this or anything so that I start drama or like I'm trying to get attention or anything. I'm just trying, for me, as I go on with this story, you guys will be able to tell that I have not really gotten a lot of closure about this breakup. So I feel like for me, talking about it will help me more with the closure. And it might also help other people going through breakups because I've gone through quite a few and I've learned quite a few things. So yeah. In this story, I will not be telling any names or anything because yes, a lot of people know who my ex-boyfriend is, but I feel like saying names isn't proper or won't help the story at all. So yeah, so this guy, he is in my grade, so he's 15. He just goes to a different school than I do. And him and I, we first met back last summer. It's kind of a funny story, but he added me on Snapchat because I was dating I was dating one of his friends, and him and I just started talking and being friends. And then me and that guy that I was dating, that was his friend, broke up. And so then me and him started talking a lot more. We would FaceTime and we started to become a thing, but we had not actually hung out yet. And then one night I went to a movie with one of my friends and he was at the movie theater and it got really, really awkward. And so him and I had stopped talking for a couple months, and then school started and I went to, because he was on his school's football team, and I went to the football game to hang out with friends and just went to the football game. My school wasn't even playing, but I just went. And he was on the football team, which I knew, but I just completely forgot. But yeah, so after the game, I had gone onto the field with my friends and I saw him and I was like, oh, hey. And then we started talking again. I had texted him and I was like, this is probably really straightforward, but I want to go out with you. I want to start talking to you again and everything. Cause I'm normally very straight up about my feelings. If I like a guy, I cannot hide it. I'm so straight up about it. So I told him straight up how I felt. And then we were supposed to go out a week later, but I got a spinal fracture from volleyball. So we couldn't because I was in the hospital and I couldn't even go to school. And so then 2 or 3 weeks later, when I was able to go to school and everything and my back was starting to heal, we went to go see a movie. I think I actually still have the ticket stub from going to see that movie. But yeah, so him and I went to a movie and we started talking a lot more. We went to 3 or 4 movies after that, and we just kept going out. And then so we were about a thing for 3 weeks, and then we started dating on October 25th, 2018. And then 4 days into us dating, I was here at my house with one of my friends, and he had gone to a party and got so drunk that he cheated on me with this girl. And I thought that was the end of our relationship. I have been cheated on before, and I didn't think he was that type of person, so I didn't think our relationship was going to go on much longer. But I realized that it wasn't him, it was alcohol. But now looking back on it, alcohol doesn't change your beliefs or your morals, it just changes your actions. Like, there's always been these sayings that are drunk actions or sober intentions, or drunk words or sober thoughts. And that may not been his intention to cheat on me, but it happened, and I probably shouldn't have gone back to him after, but I did. And so then we dated from October 25th until January 11th. And so that was almost 3 months. And it wasn't that long of a relationship, but him and I hung out so much. Like, we would try our best to see each other, like, every couple of days. We would hang out on Friday night, Saturday, Sunday before, like, Sunday night before we had to go to school. Like, we would go to Starbucks that's, like, it's about 5 minutes from my house and, like, 5 minutes from his house. We would go there and have, like, a little study date and, like, study for, or do homework and everything. And, like, we tried our best to see each other as much as we possibly could, considering we don't go to the same school. Like, I would go to his football games, his basketball games. He'd come to my volleyball games. Like, we would see each other as much as we possibly could. So it felt a lot longer than it actually was. And when we broke up, I was literally heartbroken over it. It's been almost 3 months, and I'm still not over it. Like, of course, I'm trying my best to move on, but I can't, because I did not get any closure with the breakup. He broke up with me. It was a Friday when we broke up. And on Fridays, I would either go over to his house or he'd come over to my house, because we get off school early. Like, I get off at like 2 o'clock and he gets off at like 1 or something like that. So we would always hang out after school. And he woke up, like, we woke up that morning, and I texted him and I was like, good morning. Like, we talked for like 5 minutes. And then at school, most of the time, we wouldn't like talk all that much. Like, we would like talk, we would like text each other and like Snapchat sometimes, but we wouldn't really like talk that much, because we're both trying to just focus in class and like get our work done. And so he wasn't talking to me all day, which is kind of normal. Like, I wasn't like thinking anything suspicious of it. And then after school, he blew me off to go hang out with his friends. And he was just like, I was like, what are you doing? And he's like, stuff with his friend. And I was like what? He's like, I gotta go, I'm busy. And I was like, okay. And so he didn't end up coming over to my house. And I was texting him, and he was just not into the conversation at all. Like, it seemed like he didn't even want to be talking to me. Like, he wanted to be talking to someone else. So I was just like, do you still like me? Like, do you even want to be with me anymore? And he's like, I don't know. And this was all over Snapchat photos. Like, if you know how Snapchat works, there's the chat part of Snapchat, and then there's like photos Snapchat. And this was all over photos on Snapchat. And I was like, you are not breaking up with me over Snapchat. Like, I've gotten broken up with over DM, text while he was in the next classroom over from mine, and Snapchat, like, chat. And I was like, you promised you would not break up with me over text or Snapchat. Like, you're gonna call me and talk to me about this and give me your reasons. And so he called me, and he was like, I just have lost feelings. I don't feel the same anymore. And he was like, I just feel like our relationship has run its course, and it's time for me to start something new. And, like, I get it. Like, sometimes when you're in a relationship, you don't realize how you truly feel, like, until, like, you just, like, wake up and you're like, well, you know what, I don't really like that person anymore. And I couldn't be mad at him for that. Like, I get it. Sometimes you just lose feelings, and there's nothing you could do. Like, the person couldn't have done anything wrong. You just don't feel the same anymore. Like, sometimes that just happens, and I wasn't mad at him for it. Of course, I was heartbroken. Like, literally heartbroken. Still to this day, I lie here in bed at night, and I look up at the ceiling. I'm like, is this real, because to me it still feels like a dream. Like, it just feels like a bad dream that I'm gonna wake up from, and he's still gonna be mine. We're still gonna be together. He's still gonna love me. But it's not. It's real life. Like, it's over. And like, I know being 15 with relationships nowadays, the word love just gets thrown around when you don't truly mean it. And I actually truly did love him. And like, the thing that this relationship, like, the reason it hurt me so bad is because I did not see it coming. It came out of nowhere. Because that Thursday night before we broke up, I went to his football game, or his basketball game. Everything was normal. We were on FaceTime before we went to bed. I texted him. He said he loved me. Like, everything was completely normal. And then he broke up with me. And I feel like that's why I still haven't gotten closure about it. But since we've broken up, there's been a lot of tea. So my parents don't like him at all anymore. Like, don't like him in the slightest. Because like, my parents get it. Like, sometimes breakups happen. Like, there's nothing you can really do about that, especially being a teenager. But when we were dating, he broke his phone. So when I got a new phone, like, I used to have an iPhone SE, and I got a new phone right before Christmas, like the 23rd, like December 23rd, I got an iPhone 8. And so I let him use my old phone, like the SE, and he gave it back to me. Like, he like broke the screen, but he got it replaced and gave it back to me. And this was like a week after we broke up. And at this time, like, there hadn't gone a day that I hadn't cried about him. Like, all I could do was think about him and just cry. And so when he brought my phone back to my house, I couldn't see him. Like, I know that if I would have seen him, I would have, like, wanted to kiss him or hug him or tell him I love him. Just, I know I couldn't see him. So I got my dad to answer the door. And my dad literally opened the door. He's like, thanks, and took the phone and slammed the door in his face. And I was sitting there on the couch, and I look at my dad, and I was like, no way you just did that. It was so funny. But yeah, so since him and I have broken up, he's shown his true colors, because he's gone around spreading so much rumors. He has been talking so much shit, and it's unreal, everything that how immature he's being. Like, I've taken the high road. I have been nice to him. Like, about a month ago, him and I, like, started Snapchatting again, and like, we had a streak, and I was always nice to him. Like, I would be like, oh, how's lacrosse going? How's basketball? How's your family? Like, and I'd be like, how's school? Like, I would always just be as nice as I possibly could, no matter how much I was hurting. But one night when I was babysitting, he was with his friends and got really drunk and texted me saying really, really rude stuff. And I was going through a lot at the time. I had to go see a counselor because I wouldn't eat. I was always crying, like, I was depressed, and like, I just physically wouldn't eat. Like, I started to look so skinny and so sick. I'll try and insert photos here. I was just looking so sick. And so my parents wanted me to go talk to a counselor, but I was going through a lot. Like, I just wouldn't eat. I wouldn't want to leave my room. Like, I was on exam break from the first semester, and I wouldn't leave my room. I would lie in bed all day. I would be throwing up consistently because I wasn't eating. And I wasn't eating because I would feel so sick. Like every time I thought of him, I would cry and get so sick to my stomach that I would throw up and I couldn't eat. Like that's how bad, that's how heartbroken I really was over this. But so I was just going through a lot, and he texted me saying all this really, really rude stuff. And it just made me realize the type of person he really is. And so I was like, if you care about me at all, if you even cared about me when we were dating and you don't anymore, just leave me alone. Like, this isn't helping me. This isn't helping you. Like, it's not doing any good and everything. And he was very immature about that and just said K. And then later on, a couple days later, he texted me apologizing for doing that. And then about 3 weeks ago, I would say, about 3 weeks ago, he got drunk again with his friends, and he Snapchatted me saying that if I went over to his like, he was like, come over, and I was like, no, like, you're just drunk, they're just saying shit, like, no. And this was at like 3 a.m, and he was like, it's like, if you come over and we have sex, like, I'll get back together with you. And I was like, no, like, that's not gonna help me, that's not gonna help you, like, no. And then he started getting mad at me because I wouldn't come over. And then he started telling me about all the girls that he's gone out with, that he's slept with, all this stuff since we broke up, how much better all of them are than me. And then he told me, he was like, nobody likes you, like, just kill yourself, like, everything would be so much better if you did. And that was the point where I honestly considered it, because he's the one person that I truly love at the, like, right now. Like, I know that further down the road in like 5-10 years, I'll find the person that I'm going to marry, that I'm meant to be with. But right now, he's the one person that I truly love. And he wanted me to kill myself. And I realized how stupid I was to think about that. But anyway, I told my parents about what he had said and everything that was going on, because he also, well, we're pretty sure he egged my house. He was like with a bunch of friends, and he like egged my house and a bunch of other stuff. My parents were already realizing what type of person he was, and then when I told them that he told me to kill myself, that just put it over the line. And so my parents didn't know what to do about it. So they called his parents and told his parents everything that was going on, everything that he was saying to me. And like, I was not being a petty girlfriend or ex-girlfriend. I wasn't texting him consistently. I wasn't trying to rub in his face that I'm moving on and getting better and everything like that. I wasn't doing any of that. I gave back all of his stuff, because I had one of his hoodies and a t-shirt and a hat. Like, I gave it all back. I think I still have a pair of sweatpants, but it's just because I haven't found a way to like give it back to him. But like, I don't keep guys' stuff if they want it back. Like, I always, after a breakup, I'm always like, oh, when do you want me to give your stuff back? Because if I was a guy, like, and we broke up, and like a girl and I broke up, like, I wouldn't want her keeping my stuff, you know? Like, I would want her to give it back. So I've always given guys stuff back. And so then, like, I just didn't understand why he was doing all this stuff to me. And so when we broke up, what am I saying? And so when we called his parents and told them everything, I was literally just crying my eyes out. Like, I couldn't talk. I was crying so much. And his parents, my dad was on the phone, but my dad said that they seemed disappointed. And they said that if he tries to contact me or anything, to let them know, because it's harassment. And my parents were like, oh yeah, if he like talks to you or anything, like let us know, like we'll go to his parents, we'll like talk to the police about this because this is harassment. And when people from his school that are his friends texted me saying, why did I snitch on him, all this stuff, but I haven't cared because in my opinion, I did what was best for me, because having somebody that the one person you truly care about tell you to kill yourself and say all this rude stuff, like it made me think about killing myself, because the one true person that I care about, the one person I care about what he thinks of me, hates me and wanted me to kill myself. And that's just, it's honestly pathetic. Like, I've gotten broken up with 5 times. And out of those 5 times, I've got cheated on 4 times. And it's just, out of all of those times, I've never been the petty person. I've never gone out of my way to show my ex-boyfriend that I'm moving on, that I'm getting better, because I'm 15. Like, it's so, I'm gonna grow up one day and find my soulmate, like the person I'm meant to be with. And these are all just stupid little high school relationships, like, or junior high relationships. Like, this is my first like high school relationship, and they're all just stupid, petty high school / junior high relationships that, of course, when I get older, I'm gonna look back and be like, oh yeah, I dated that guy in high school, I dated that guy in junior high, like. But it's stupid to let it affect me so much now. Like, of course I love him. I almost said his name. Of course I love him, and I care about what he thinks. Like, honestly, it's just so stupid to get so worked up over a breakup, especially being 15. Anybody that is going through a breakup right now, whether you broke up with them or they broke up with you, the best thing that I would have to say to get over the person is not get into a relationship. Don't go out with the guy right away, and like, just focus on yourself. Like, I know that's really hard, because when you're alone, all you do is think about how you're not good enough if you got broken up with, and what you could have done differently to make that person still love you. But there's nothing you could have done. It's, as much as you think you know a person, you can't control them. You can't control their actions, their intentions. There's nothing you can do when somebody breaks up with you. And when you get broken up with, you need to just take a break for yourself and for your friends. Like, I've learned that, like, I got broken up with last year on January 11th. It's the same day I broken up with this year. But that time, like last year, I went out and made out with a guy 2 days later, and it didn't help me at all. It honestly just made me feel so shitty about myself, and it just didn't help me. Right after a breakup, you just need to take time and focus on yourself, on school, on friends, and if you play sports. Like, for me, the thing that's really, really helped me get through this breakup is volleyball, because whenever I'm at volleyball, I forget about everything. Sometimes when I'm struggling with something, like, let's say in volleyball, if you don't know volleyball, you don't know what this is, but in volleyball, I'm a middle, and I struggle with 51 sets, which are just quick little short sets. I struggle with them immensely. And whenever I'm struggling with that, I get down on myself and I just think about everything outside of volleyball. And I think about, like, my grades at school, my friends, relationships. And whenever that happens, I just cry. Like, I just have a mental breakdown and I just cry. But recently, volleyball has been a coping mechanism for me, because whenever I'm excelling and succeeding with volleyball, I feel so happy and I feel so good about myself. And at school recently, I've gotten amazing friendships. Like, there's some girls at my school that they're just so amazing. They're so sweet. I hang out with them every day at school. I have these amazing guy best friends at school that have helped me so much. And that's honestly the number one thing that has helped me get through this breakup, is just focusing on friends and myself. But yeah, that's it for today, guys. Hope you enjoyed this little tea time. Make sure you guys tune into the next video, and my Instagram will be down low in the description. Make sure you sauce a follow. Thanks for watching. Bye.